Hello and welcome to Heavy Heart Digital. This video took a very long time to make, so please stick around, like and subscribe if you are interested in pixel art, game development, and animation. We will be covering a lot today, and we have a lot to say. My creator goes by the name of Scarab. You may be familiar with his YouTube channel Scarabic Enterprises. If not, the main channel is linked in the description. People are going to ask, so I'll address this now. I am not created by AI. I'm a pixel art android created on a program called Aseprite, based on a still image of my creator. I am made up of individual colored pixels, one pixel at a time, animated manually by a human, frame by frame. I was then transported as a set of PNG sprites to a video editing program and put together with a heat distortion overlay to give off the appearance of movement. Everything done here has been done manually with the assistance of artistic tools like Aseprite, Clip Studio Paint, and HitFilm. This animation is a lengthy process. Every 60 seconds of animating my eyes and mouth alone can take up to several hours, let alone how long it took to create and recreate all of my sprites. My voice is a recording split into 3 tracks. One is of Scarab's natural voice, one is pitched higher, one is pitched lower, and they are placed a few frames apart to create the illusion of a robotic sounding reverb. Even the script of this video was manually typed onto a keyboard by my creator. Now that you know that I am real, or at least as real as a two-dimensional character can be, let's continue. Today Scarab wants to open the doors and express himself to the community that he has been building up over the years. This includes the new community that we will build up from the ground, right here, right now. We don't know if you're watching this, reading this, or have us on in the background. But first, let's preface this with facts, and then move on to our ambition and goals, despite all of the struggles and strife. Scarab is the founder of Scarabic Enterprises and everything under its umbrella. He has Scarabic Soundwaves as his record label and Scarabica as his band. Heavy Heart Digital is his indie game studio, and he is a game inventor at Heavy Heart Tabletop. He hosts and runs our YouTube and Twitch channels. He posts to our Patreon and social media accounts. He designs the music and creates the art. He makes the content and invents the games. Scarab is a jack of all trades, out to prove that they can be a master of some. Right now he is in the process of creating 2 videos a week for Scarabic Enterprises on YouTube, 25 plus hours of streaming a month at Scarabic Enterprises on Twitch, 2 to 4 posts on Patreon a month, a tabletop RPG, a video game, a board game, a full-length LP punk rock album. This is just the short list of what's to come and what I have been allowed to announce. There is a lot more being worked on in the background. As you can imagine, this is a massive undertaking for just one person. Here is Scarab's current schedule, and below it you will find his reasoning. He had to write this down, not only for you, but for himself, as it was difficult to comprehend even for him. From this point on, I will be speaking in first person from Scarab's perspective, referring to him as I. Monday to Friday, I record 1 to 3 videos after my morning coffee, roughly 3 to 5 hours. I then eat something, usually high in protein, or chicken, rice and vegetables, occasionally junk food. I am currently cutting down my portion size and increasing my exercises to lose weight. While I eat, I watch YouTube for game design tips and tutorials for various game engines and programs, including Clip Studio Paint, Unreal Engine 5, C++, Aseprite, etc. Once my food is settled, I do my stretches, push-ups, weights, and squats. This is followed by drinking 600 ml of water with a Baraka tablet dissolved into it, because health. I want to include a daily walk at some point soon. I will relax after exercise for about 15 to 20 minutes, watching more tutorials, and get back to work. I dedicate roughly 2 days a week to editing videos for YouTube. I can edit around 1 to 2 Monday videos or 3 to 4 Friday videos in a day, depending on their length and content. This helps me stay ahead of schedule, and keeping to that schedule, I only need 1 Monday and 1 Friday video to be made per week, 6 to 10 hours or more. I practice pixel art and Aseprite for 2 to 6 hours at least once a week, to be increased when the time comes. I practice and learn Clip Studio Paint for about 2 to 6 hours roughly 3 times a week. This includes learning the program and its features, making, positioning, and animating 3D models, creating environments, transferring my knowledge from Photoshop into CSP, and seeing the differences and similarities, finding and using free assets to use as reference points, learning how to make illustrations and animation with CSP, seeing which programs I can transfer files to and from. I stream a minimum of 25 hours a month on Twitch, usually within the first 2 weeks of a month to achieve that goal in spurts ranging from 2 to 12 hour streams, and then stream overtime when I feel up to it. I work on my game design documents, multiple due to interlinked worlds, and my TTRPG at various times throughout each day, sporadically for minutes or hours on end, depending on where the inspiration takes me. Generally after a shower is when I am most productive. I smash through these stints of 4 to 6 hours a day on days that I am not editing videos. Work on my GDDs include world building, lore building, character creation, creating game mechanics, creating lists of math, item and ability balancing, structuring data, research and adaptation, etc. The list could go on for pages, but you get the idea. I practice guitar as often as my body allows it, and I work on the songs I wish to release as well as creating new songs when I get a spark of inspiration. The time for this can vary between 20 minutes to several hours. The frequency of this depends on my physical health and done on days that I'm not editing or recording. I also eat dinner a couple hours before bed. I almost forgot to add this one for some reason. I try to sleep for 6 to 8 hours a night, but sometimes I don't sleep at all. Other times I sleep for 12 plus hours. My sleeping pattern has never existed throughout my life, and I suffer from night terrors, so even when I sleep, it isn't always restful. This leaves me with only roughly 3.5 hours of me time during the work week, if we maximize the numbers and I get a solid 8 hours each night. Don't fret, I absolutely love this work. Some of it is dull and mundane, but the creation of something new and being able to express myself so completely is rewarding in itself, including the creation of this video. Note, these hours are very rough estimates, and they move around a lot as I have ADHD, CPTSD, and other mental health ailments, not to mention my physical limitations. I do not stream every day, I do not edit every day, and some days disappear due to poor mental health, which is why I work so hard on the days that I feel mentally and or physically able. Another reason I prefer to stay ahead of schedule, to make up for these counterproductive times. Saturday. I refuse to take time off and continue what I do during the week to catch up on any missed hours. If all the work is done and I feel good, I might play a game, streamed or not, or watch a movie, and then get inspired by something and continue working, cause ADHD. Sunday. I try to minimize my duties to make room for something outside of work, but as I need to get something done to feel okay enough to live life, I record, write, or edit for at least 1 to 2 hours. After accepting that I've accomplished something for the day, I socialize and take some well-earned personal time off, or I'll stream for the entire day, only stopping for food and bodily functions. Gotta get those hours in. As you can see, I have been busy, as this roughly scheduled week has been repeated every week with various tasks in place of others for the past 7 years. At least now my priorities are straight, and I have a clear view of my end goals, which is more than I can say for the first 2 years, at least. I have managed to turn my ADHD into a superpower instead of a hindrance by harnessing my hyper-focus and redirecting it into projects instead of it wildly flailing about on traumatic events, stifling my creativity. It's not 100% effective, but now I get the job done more often than not. I have applied for disability support pension due to having several overlapping psychosocial disabilities and a few physical limitations. These disabilities and limitations have gotten in the way of my ability to keep or maintain a steady 9-to-5 job. People have called me lazy, a common expression said to those with ADHD, unfortunately, and weak due to physical limitations throughout my life, and that has been drilled into my head for the majority of it. Coming to terms with the fact that I may be or am disabled in whatever ways has been a very mentally taxing thing to overcome and accept. I have spent the last 3 years gathering information and getting diagnosed to receive the appropriate payments and for my government to stop harassing me about getting a normal job. I have bounced between certificate to certificate, course to course, learning everything as I went on, but still unable to find a job that wouldn't break my back or consume my mind, sending me into a, let's say, darker spiral. I have used my pursuit of knowledge and accumulated a set of skills which I applied to my creative projects. So despite the setbacks and discouragement, I am more than capable of achieving my goals, and so far, I have exceeded my own expectations. I have found a home as a content creator, and I have been doing this for 7 years now. I had help along the way, and have made several friends. I cherish each and every one of you, so please know that you have kept me going through some of the toughest times. Now, I am on my own again, and I only have myself to keep things moving. In a way, this is the best thing for me. I tend to work best alone and only have myself to blame when something goes wrong. It forces me to step up and get things done. Looking back at the 1500 plus videos over the span of 7 years, missing the upload schedule maybe only twice, from memory they were due to a misclick on the date of the video, and one got uploaded at about an hour late due to the long exporting times, proves my work ethic and how dedicated I am to my creations. A lazy person could not accomplish such a sustained workflow and would not pursue any matters of such passion. I work longer than 8 hours a day and usually 7 days a week, and I currently don't get paid to do so. Instead, I invest my time into projects that will take years to bear fruit. If they make money, so be it. The main thing is that they achieve their goal to entertain. Through all of my experiences, hardships, and trauma, I create to entertain. If I can make a product that can bring a smile to your face, then I have done my job. If I can immerse you in one of my worlds, then I have done my job. If I can teach you anything through laughter or tears, then I have done my job. There is a reason why I refuse to allow my games to be overpriced or to include any microtransactions or paid DLC. I am a gamer, and I know what it feels like to be cheated out of my money. I will not allow my players, my community, or my friends to fall subject to that. Once you buy it, you own it. Anything else that comes afterwards is free, excluding sequels. Duh. So there, I am here to entertain and to release affordable products that I hope you'll all enjoy in the not-so-distant future. They won't suit everybody. Some will love them, others will hate them, which is the nature of opinion and the internet. I don't expect my games to make me stupidly rich, but the amount of work I'm putting in right now and the workload ahead of me will definitely appeal to a lot of people once it is finished. I feel almost stupid now for not acknowledging this earlier, as I never saw myself as an artist. But I am blown away by the things I have already achieved, as I never thought I'd be good enough to produce anything like it. I have met and surpassed my own expectations of my creative abilities. I play multiple instruments. I sing, I act, I edit, I draw, I program, I animate. I have so many creative skills, yet I never had enough self-respect to call myself an artist. Well, that changes now. I am an artist, and it is about time I start to display my artwork. Let's make some games. Stay up to date on my Patreon for $1 USD, or pay up to $25 USD if you feel like it. So feel free to join for just $1 and see if you wish to contribute more down the line if you choose to do so. Also, Patreon has free members now too, so check out our public posts and decide if you can spare a buck a month. I upload evidence of the money and receipts, being completely transparent about purchases. None of the money is for personal use, and it only goes towards my projects, like buying a lifetime license to Clip Studio Paint version 3.0, for example. Either way, long-time subscribers, thank you for being a part of our community, and I hope you stick around to see what I produce next. To our new subscribers, welcome to Scarabik Enterprises and or Heavy Heart Digital. Over the next few years, you will watch me eat AAA gaming studios for breakfast. This is our mission statement. Here at Heavy Heart Digital, we make unique games from original ideas, some inspired by a whole host of media such as video games and movies, others inspired by actual events or even dreams. We don't want to copy any formula that has been previously done 100 times. If we ever feel as though our games aren't breaking the mold, we will introduce new elements and factors to keep our players engaged. Our key focus is to create games with a solid single-player experience. Everything else comes second to that. That being said, say goodbye to microtransactions, paid DLC, and shady business practices. We aim to give you the games you paid for, complete with no extra costs. Any future content developed for our games after release will be marked as DLC and will be completely free and optional. If you like the games as they were originally designed, you can choose to enjoy the vanilla experience or turn on the DLC when you want to change it up. The choice is, and always will be, yours. Every game that we release now and forever will be sold for less than what we think that they're worth, due to the fact that we want you to enjoy our games and still be able to afford a pizza, because pizza is awesome. We love individuality, a deep narrative, freedom of choice, and customization. Most of all, we love you. Thank you for supporting Heavy Heart Digital, where you are more than just player one.